Hey all, Andrew Stevens here. I am a debut author writing some epic fantasy, and I just want to take a quick couple minutes to introduce myself and talk about who I am and why it is I'm doing what I'm doing. My journey into writing goes way back before I graduated high school in a small town in northwestern Oregon in 2004. I don't remember exactly when my passion for creating began, but as it blossomed somewhere around middle school, it started in the form of writing. While I liked to draw early on, I never really had a knack for it. But words were something else entirely. I found I had a way with them, and so they became my tool for creating the worlds I'd dreamt of in my mind. Over the years, I started several stories and even made some decent progress on a couple. I also wrote dozens of other ideas and short stories, but I never really did anything with them. They mostly just stayed in my mind or in notebooks, and with the rise of personal computers, yes, I'm that old, they eventually migrated to digital. However, even with all these ideas and started projects, I never had the resolve to finish or do anything of consequence with them. Because, with the rise of computers, so too did I take an interest in gaming. I've always been a sucker for a good story. When I was younger, that meant I read a lot of science fiction and fantasy. As the rise of PC gaming came about, I found myself entranced with games like Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, the Legacy of Kain series, Dark Age of Camelot, World of Warcraft, and so on. These role playing games were some of my favorites because they all shared one thing in common: story. And not just story, but they brought to life these fantastical worlds like the ones I had imagined in my head. The problem was, while I immensely enjoyed experiencing the world others had built, it made me complacent in creating my own. I still had ideas, and I developed a few more ideas over the years, but still had nothing to show for it. Fast forward to 2022. We were mostly through the pandemic, and unlike many others, I'd yet to develop a new hobby or passion like so many others did. I continued to do things the way I always had. But then John came along. John was a good friend I'd met several years prior. He went through some things in his own life and ended up finding his true passion along the way. That passion was life coaching. When John reached out to me, it sparked something that had been there for years. I knew I'd wasted my life on a lot of things that weren't productive, and I knew I was shying away from my creative gifts. As John and I discussed all these things, it quickly became apparent that I needed to revisit my writing. And along with that, as a goal, because setting goals are important, I was going to write a book.